Hi guys, Patty with Little Red Southern Kitchen. Today we're making beef stew. We're going to be making it in the crock pot. Because the less I have this oven and stove going, the better off we are. Okay, this is approximately 2 pounds of stew beef. I buy it like that instead of getting it and chopping it up. Some of it's still partially frozen. I've got 2 onions. I've got about 5 toes of garlic that I'm going to mince up. 3 potatoes that I'm going to peel. Yes, I'm going to peel them and cube them up. I've got like 5 carrots here. Beef broth, flour to dredge them in before I put them in the crock pot. I've got some accent, pepper, seasoning salt, and regular salt for the flour. Beef broth and vegetable oil to cook it in. Alright, we'll bring you back whenever I've got everything sliced, diced, peeled, and ready to go. Okay guys, we are back. First thing I want to tell you about is these slow cooker liners. They are a godsend. Perfect. Just put them in there in your crock pot. And it's actually large enough for my large one. And cleanup is so easy. Now if you start poking around in it, you will tear it, but it's still a lot easier. Alright, as you see, I've diced up my carrots. What we did was the small ends we made into circles and then chunked up the big ones. I'm going to put them in here. I've got the 5 toes of garlic that I'm going to stick in here. I did the 2 onions. Now these were Vidalias, that's all I have. Made them into little half moons. Go ahead and put this in here. Now, potatoes, yes, well, actually, I'll be honest, Tony actually peeled them for me and I cut them up. Put them in water so they won't oxidize and turn red on me. Now, alright, we're going to go over to the stove and get stuff done and then we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. What I've done is I've covered the bottom of the frying pan. My stove is not level, so kind of goes to one side. And I put my stewed beef in here. What I'm going to do is season it. The amounts aren't important. They're important to you. What you want to put in it. Now I'm going to add some accent. I know some people don't like MSG. But if you know accent, MSG is a salt. So I want to be light on the salt. Got my Morton seasonal. I'll put that in there. And pepper. We like pepper more than salt. Okay, I'm going to stir this up a little bit so they're all coated. Like I said, some of them still frozen. I took them out last night, but oh well, it'll all work out. Alright, here is where I want to add flour to it and get them covered. Just instead of dredging, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to start with half a cup. Stir this around. I'm going to add a little more, maybe a 1/4 of a cup. Now all we're going to be doing is browning the meat. Definitely not cooking it done. And I've got me a paper plate lined with paper towels to drain them on. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to drop them into the oil once again. Like I said, we're just browning this, not having to get it done, because we got to cook these or they'll be tough. I thought about doing it in the Dutch oven, but it's way too hot to keep that oven on for 3 or 4 hours. Alright guys, I'm going to get these in here and brown, and I'll bring you out back whenever it's about, I'm getting ready to pull them out. Alright guys, we're back. This is the second batch. Like I said, we are just browning these. They aren't done, so put these out. I'm going to make a little gravy. Now, I didn't put it in the beginning on the ingredients because it's totally up to you, but I will be adding red wine to it. It's kind of like a beef bourguignon or whatever you say it that Julia Child used to make. Okay. Now look at all this goodness sitting down at the bottom. I'm not going to drain any of this oil out. I'm going to guesstimate it to be about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Whoop. Don't lose those. So to this, I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to use a whole spoon. I'm going to go ahead and add 3. No, let's make it 4. And what you want to do is brown this, scraping the bottom of the pan, because that is pure tea goodness down at the bottom. I like using my copper shaft so it doesn't stick. Now I'm not going to add any seasoning to this because everything's already seasoned, and the broth itself is going to have some the salt even. Stir this around. I've got my heat on medium, unless it's a real thick cast iron or something. I usually don't cook over medium heat, because actually, like my Polydine cookware and stuff, they say don't cook it over on high. My mother-in-law had bought me some pans several years ago from Jenny's. And I burnt those pots up because I didn't read the instructions, and cooked them on high and everything, and they literally burnt up. I still got a couple of pieces, but I really seldom use them. And like I said, you're just wanting to get this brown. If you wanted to start anew, empty out and use butter or even use your oil, but you want to measure it out perfectly. Remember, it's the same ratio, flour to oil. 4 tablespoons oil, butter or whatever, to 4 tablespoons flour. My niece used to pick on me. She calls this grease gravy because she liked to use cornstarch and everything, but I use cornstarch in some things, but I don't know. This is the way I grew up learning it. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Change is hard. Look at all those bits in there. That's going to be so good. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer than usual. But I use this Woodbridge Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a great one. I use the Woodbridge white wine as well, Sauvignon Blanc. It gives everything a good flavor. You know, you don't want to taste the alcohol, but this is going to be cooking for hours. Okay. Now I'm going to start off with the wine a little bit. That's probably maybe a quarter of a cup. Boy, that smells good whenever that's in there. Alright, well I had some little bit of beef broth left over, so I'm going to add this carton. Boy, that wasn't much. I would like to eventually make my own stock and broth, but I don't have room for it. We need to get a freezer. As far as how much you're going to use is entirely up to you, because you're going to actually add more broth. You know, you can use water as well, but the broth gives it a richer flavor. There's also this, better than bouillon, that you can add, but I had the beef broth. That is really good. And stir this around. I don't really want, it doesn't have to thicken up a whole lot, because I'm going to be adding it to the crock pot and adding more broth or water to it. So we're going to shut this down, and I'm going to take you over to the crock pot and we'll get this thing started. Okay guys, we're back. We're going to add this strained ground stew beef. Guys, it's just me and Tony. This is a problem I have. I fix way too much food. We honestly waste a lot of food here, and it's embarrassing. I'm going to stir this around a little bit. That already smells divine. Okay, we got my gravy I made. I'm just pouring that in there. Same thing, stir this up a little bit. Now what's going to happen between the gravy and the fact that the meat has been dredged with flour and browned, this is going to thicken up. But if not, we're going to bring it back and we can make it a little bit thicker, and I'll show y'all how whenever that time's about done. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the beef broth. And this is a 32 ounce. So I believe I'm probably going to use all of it. Yeah. I did taste my gravy, and it was really good. I don't think it's going to need any more. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it on low for about, I'm going to try 6 hours. If you were cooking on high, you could do it for 3. Whoops. Alright, we'll come back about half hour before we're done and show you the rest of the story. Okay guys, this has been on about 5.5 hours, and I've been stirring it around and everything looks tender, but I want the gravy to be a little thicker. Let me tell you about Wonder flour. It's a very fine flour, like excellent for gravies. It's like been sifted a lot of times. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add this 1 drip flour and let it finish cooking the next half hour. I'm probably going to add, we're going to say 1/4 cup. And like I did turn my crock pot up on high, so it was bubbling anyway. So I'm going to let this sit for the next half hour while I get the rice and the yeast rolls ready. Be back in a second. Guys, we're back. This cooked for about half an hour. Oops. And you'll see this did thicken up the gravy. And I've got some rice in here. And we're just going to scoop this out and serve it up. I wish you could smell. If we had smell-o-vision, it would be great. Alright, I've got some yeast rolls with some honey butter. And once again, I have made too much for me and Tony. So my local peeps, if y'all are interested in this, most of you know where to find me. I will gladly share. Just come and get it. Y'all have a great evening, day, and supper's ready. See you later.